Well, hello, everybody. Thanks for joining us today. Today, we're going to share with you a little bit about what we're calling search synergy, just a wonderful buzzword that we're totally sick of. But nonetheless, we want to get into how SEO, paid media, and CRO all kind of work together to have a successful marketing campaign. Too often, we see clients come into us that they are just myopically focused on SEO or paid media, or they just want us for CRO, which is great. Hey, we'll take it. We love you. We'll take the business, and we'll be happy to help you. But we really want to share with you how those things can work together to not just maximize results for each one individually, but how they kind of come together to compound the results. And so the sum of the parts is the sum of the whole is more than the sum of the parts. That's how you say that. So I guess the first point we can get into with you a little bit is about brand visibility, and then I'll turn it over to Justin Smith. I probably should introduce myself. My name is Jason. Yeah, let's do that. Why don't we do that? Justin, you go first.
Sure. I'm Justin Smith, CEO here at Outerbox. Started the company over 18 years ago. My background and my strengths are really in search marketing side of our business, in SEO, in paid search. I'm not a developer. I'm not a designer, but search engine marketing is my thing. So being involved in a conversation like this fits my expertise.
Awesome. Thanks, Justin. My name is Jason. My background at Outerbox and in general is in communications, leadership development, and sales funnels and marketing psychology. So let's get into what we're going to talk about here. So Outerbox, what are we all about? We are a full service digital marketing agency, results-driven online marketing. That's what we're all about. So we're bringing all of these pieces together, either a la carte or as a whole, to maximize your effort online. That's what we really do. We're here to win, and we're here to help you win. And so that's what today's video, if you will, is all about. Obviously, we're going pretty informal here. We just want to throw this information out to you, let you understand, wrap your head around it, and then make your own intelligent decisions about what the best course of action is for your marketing strategy. So,
yeah, awesome,
cool.
So let's do it. What we really want to talk about, like we said, is just going through how paid search, how SEO, how CRO, how all these things work together. As Jason said, maybe you have some of those parts covered already. Maybe that's in-house. Maybe that's an agency. Totally fine. We work with other agencies all the time. When someone says, hey, we have a paid search agency we love, we've been with them for 10 years, fine, right? No problems there. We can handle the SEO side. We can handle CRO. But we still like to gain insights from them, and we still like to work with them. Maybe handle some of those pieces in-house, however it's put together, or maybe you're, like a lot of our clients, looking for us to take care of everything for you, and make sure that those pieces all work together and teams are communicating together, and you don't have paid search over here and organic search over here. So let's talk. I know, Jason, this is one that you brought up when we were brainstorming for this video, building better brand visibility, right, through multiple placements in search. Talk about that a little bit.
Yeah. So brand visibility obviously compounds trust. If you have, the more that your brand's out there, the more that they see your brand, the more that your credibility that brand just gets by default. So online and Google search, if they're able to see you everywhere, that really builds automatic trust and credibility into your brand, which compounds not only your click-through rates, but also your conversion rates, because it's setting the tone, right? So sometimes it makes sense to be bidding on the same terms that you're already ranking page one for, just for brand visibility reasons. Those clicks that you might be getting on your ads, sure, that's costing, you could be thinking, well, that's costing me unnecessary ad spend. Well, maybe not. I mean, sometimes that it's worth it just for the brand credibility it builds, especially if you're not actually number one on page.
Sure. Well, and you're talking about bidding on branding, but you could also say bidding on keywords that you rank at the top of Google for anyway, that are not branded terms. And I think
correct.
In that situation, the branded one is sometimes you have to figure that out, right? That can go either way. But something like for us, maybe if you search e-commerce SEO agency, there may be times where we're bidding on that, even though we rank number one, because you see us in paid, you see us in organic. That's great for for our brand name. So when you get outside of branded terms, I think it'd be really important to be in both spots.
For sure. And I'm glad you clarified, because that's actually what I was thinking, is exactly what you just said. So,
well, and the other thing to look at too, right? You have to balance how much is the cost per click versus how much is it, sometimes you really want to go after something organically because it's an important keyword, but it's $70 a click, right? Well, if it's $70 a click, maybe it's not worth bidding on it if you rank for it organically. Now, if it's super competitive, you have a newer site and ranking for it organically is going to take you 5 years, well, we're going to have to bid on it. So those are the things that when you get these two channels working together, you can make better decisions.
Sure.
And when you're talking about visibility on the paid search side as well, it's not only on Google as far as ads. You're also talking about remarketing. You're talking about your brand and logo showing up on other websites like news sites, right? That really brings it all together. It makes every place you're at more powerful than the one.
Right. It's focusing in on channels that work, obviously, because not all brands and not all products work on every single channel out there. And you can't even just put social media in one box, because depending on the audience that you're going after that's attracted that your product sells to, you got to go to the platform where that audience is. So we're not just saying go out there and willy-nilly spend money on every platform just to get brand exposure, but it's to strategically put yourself out on the platforms where your audience lives, and then compound that effort by getting as visible as you can on those platforms.
Stronger the brand is, the higher the conversion rate will be across all channels. That's kind of the bottom line.
Absolutely.
For point one. So let's talk about optimizing pages organically. When you do organic search optimization, you're optimizing content, you're optimizing title tags, header tags, you're optimizing speed, you're doing a lot of different things. How can that help paid search? And one of the things that I see is, Google assigns a quality score to a landing page. If you have a really bad score, no matter how much you pay for an ad, Google won't even show you, right? They'll say, you pay $1 million click, doesn't matter, your page is crap, and we're not going to show you in the Google Ads positions, because they still want good sites in the ad positions. Otherwise, it becomes a poor user experience, right? And they don't want searchers getting poor user experiences and landing on crap sites. Right. So as you do SEO on a page and you make that page better and you create better authority for your site, you're going to inherently get better quality scores on a page search side, and potentially pay less per click and actually save money on your paid search campaign.
Yep, absolutely. Let's move into point 3. PPC can be used, paid search can be used as a staging ground to test for SEO. So just to set this up, and then I'll turn it over to you, Justin, and we're going to talk about just how informal this presentation is, because I am about to stand up and go get a power adapter for my laptop that's about to die. So I'll tee this up and we'll turn it over to Justin. So here's the deal. PPC using it as a staging ground for SEO. It costs obviously upfront a lot more to do SEO, to build, to rank for a page one for a term, especially if it's competitive, right? I mean, not in all cases. Some uncompetitive terms you can just do proper SEO on a page and boom, you might be page one. But most of the time for the high value terms, right, that are a long-term strategy, it's going to be some capital outlay to make that happen. We oftentimes can recommend, why don't we do some paid search on those terms to test what kind of conversions you get, what kind of copy converts, what kind of landing pages are working, and then you take that information once to translate that over into your actual live page that you're building for SEO. Go ahead, Justin, while I get my power.
Yeah, no, I mean, that makes a lot of sense. There's a ton of things you can gain from a paid search campaign. Like you said, landing pages, landing page copy, just different variations on design and layouts. Another thing you can really do is gain a lot of keyword insights. Like you said, you can test keywords and make sure. You might have a theory that a major keyword, like for us, we might say, hey, if we rank for just SEO, that would do really well for us. We might find out that keyword is too broad. It's a lot of people looking for training. It's a lot of people looking for other things. They're not necessarily looking to hire an agency. We could have invested years into an SEO campaign to get to page 1 of Google to figure that out. And then you say, well, that was a waste of time. This doesn't even convert. So to your point, that makes a lot of sense. And then once you get a paid search campaign working, you have lots of keyword data. You can extrapolate that data and help build your organic list, right? Your keyword list that you want to go after. And there's a lot of different ways you do that. There's a lot of different ways you decide which ones to put on there, which ones not to, based on how competitive they are, how much they might cost in paid search. If something's really cheap to buy, well, maybe just buy it instead of spending hundreds of hours in organic efforts. So
correct.
Yeah, you can gain a lot of insight from a paid search campaign that should be able to help an organic campaign. Right. And vice versa. You can take the same data from an SEO campaign, figure out what keywords are working, and use it over in paid search as well.
Absolutely. So we're going to talk one more point about paid search. So this really seems like it's a pitch for paid search, but the reality is I want to back up just a second. Remember, the big part of your SEO campaign is you're positioning your brand is not only an authority, but now you're getting yourself real estate on the Google platform or in the SERP platforms that you're paying for in advance, right? It's marketing dollars you're paying for advance, buying real estate, for lack of a better analogy. And then you'll have to pay that on an ongoing basis. And you're not trapped into the bidding war that happens on paid search. That's why a lot of people pursue SEO. It's an ideal long-term strategy. But paid search has a lot more flexibility and some cool tools that you can use. So again, that's another reason they're not. It's not one or the other. They work together for different purposes. That's the whole point of this message. So
yeah.
The next point is we're going to get into the geo-targeting aspects of paid search. Justin, you want to take that away?
Yeah. So I thought of this one again as we were brainstorming for a meeting, and this is one that I know we've used, and we've used it for different clients. It can depend, right? If you're an e-commerce business, maybe this one doesn't make as much sense sometimes. Depending on what you sell, it definitely can make sense. You may have geographical regions where your products sell, they're easier to sell. Maybe it's industrial type products and they lend themselves towards certain, places in the country or in the world. But for example, people search the same in different places. If Outerbox wants to gain SEO customers in, let's pick a state, Michigan. That person in Michigan is probably still searching SEO company or SEO agency or e-commerce SEO company or e-commerce SEO agency or Shopify SEO services or whatever it is. So they're still searching that way. They're not always searching. There's going to be way lower search volume with someone searching SEO company in Michigan or Shopify SEO services in Michigan or in a city. Just because they're in that city, just because they're in that state, doesn't mean they're putting those qualifiers into their query. So if we want to be able to still target just a specific region for a major keyword, then you really do have to use paid search to do that. You can say when someone searches SEO company and they're in Michigan, I want my ad to show up, but I want it only to show up there. You may not want it to be in California because the cost per click is going to be a lot higher there. You might not want it to be in New York City because the cost per click is going to be 4 times more than Michigan. So paid search is really beneficial in that way. There's ways you can tackle that with SEO as well, for sure. But paid search is a great way to target specific cities and states.
Yep, absolutely. And the final point we want to leave you with today is to kind of put a bow on all of this. Is you're putting all these marketing efforts into play. It's fascinating how often I see clients that will ignore their landing pages and their websites and continue to drive traffic in dollars to them, and be satisfied with whatever conversion rate they're getting. We strongly encourage that you continually look at your what's called CRO or conversion rate optimization. Continually look at that, continually test, continually look for improvements. Never settle. At the end of the day, you got to be careful. If you got a well converting page, you don't want to go willy-nilly, but that's what A/B testing is for, right? You can quickly, once you've got traffic going to a page, you can quickly determine by metrics what changes are working and which ones won't, and kill the ones that don't, and keep the ones that do. CRO comes down to obviously a lot of psychology. It comes down to a lot of proven methodologies, things that you can know out of the box when you work like with an agency like ours that has hundreds of clients that we work with, that we see all of that data that we acquire from all of our other clients, we can apply to you and help you skip some of those steps of randomly testing ideas. But you start with that foundation, and then in your particular market, your particular brand, your particular voice, there might be variations on the norm that we would find that work better for you. And we would be testing, we would recommend that you test those kind of things. So it can get down to things that are just as dumb as the color of a button, right? And here's your free tip. I almost never, ever, ever, ever want to see a red button. Just gonna throw that out there. Red means stop. So most of the time, that's going to test out bad against virtually any other color. Just going to throw that out there.
You're right. Yeah. Even if your brand is red and black, you might want to throw a green button in there somewhere.
Correct. Yeah. Just get over it. Go green. So
team green. I think you brought up a good point. And just to reiterate that we utilize this across all our channels, not just in CRO. We have 300, 400 active clients.
Correct.
We have the ability to take the data, not just in CRO, like you mentioned,
correct,
in SEO campaigns and paid search campaigns. The value in working with Outerbox is we can look at hundreds of clients. We take all that data. We come to you with proven strategies, proven methods. Whether you're selling vitamins or you're selling jewelry or whatever it is, car parts, Google's algorithm's the same. The way people think in general is the same. There's always nuances to your industry and to your website and to your brand. But our goal is to come to you with proven methods, skip some steps, and get some kick-ass results sooner than later.
Awesome. It's great sharing with you. We're going to wrap this up. Don't take up too much of your time. We hope that you've gotten some good value out of this impromptu video here today. If you like what you've heard and you need some help, definitely want to reach out to us. We've got obviously all over the page that you're on here. Probably there's a button someplace to contact us, set up a consultation, get a free quote, whatever the case is that you need. Get a conversation going with one of our business development experts. They would be more than happy to help you understand where you're coming from, what your needs are. We're not here to sell you crap you don't need. We're here to help you bring that synergy together between all of your marketing channels to make sure you're maximizing your ROI.
Good deal.
Rock and roll, everybody.
See ya.